Why does God feel silent when you need Him most? When your prayers are desperate? When your tears are private? When the weight is heavier than your faith? If you've ever whispered this question in the dark, this message is for you. There are seasons when heaven feels quiet. You pray, but hear nothing. You believe, but feel alone, and the silence hurts. But listen closely, God's silence is not His absence. The Bible is filled with people who experience silence from God. David cried out in Psalm 22, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Yet the same David later testified, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted." Sometimes God feels far, even when He is closer than ever. His silence isn't a sign of abandonment. It's a space where deeper trust can grow. It feels like a void, but it's actually a classroom for your faith. We often expect God to speak loudly with clear answers, dramatic signs, and immediate solutions. But in seasons of pain, God often speaks softly. He speaks through a sudden burst of strength to get through one more day. He speaks through unexpected endurance you didn't know you had. He speaks through a quiet peace that settles over you when everything else is chaotic. Remember the story of Elijah in 1 Kings. We're told God was not in the powerful wind, not in the ground-shaking earthquake, not in the raging fire, but in a gentle whisper. God's silence doesn't mean He stopped speaking. It might mean He is speaking in a way that requires you to lean in and listen with your heart, not just your ears. When God feels silent, it's often because He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating things you can't yet see. Think about the story of Joseph. He was sold by his own brothers, falsely accused, and forgotten in a prison. Imagine the long, silent years he endured, wondering where God was. But later, looking back, he understood. He told his brothers, "What you meant for evil, God meant for good." In those silent moments, God was busy aligning circumstances, preparing hearts, and weaving together a plan for redemption that was bigger than Joseph's pain. Your silence might just be the sound of God working on your miracle. Faith that only works when God is speaking audibly isn't really faith, it's convenience. True faith is tested and strengthened in the quiet. The scripture says, we walk by faith, not by sight. The periods of silence are where our faith develops its muscle. It's easy to trust when you see the path, but silence forces you to trust the guide. It deepens your spiritual roots, forcing them to go down past the surface level feelings and into the solid ground of God's. In changing character, it teaches you to rely on who God is, not just on what He says or gives. Have you ever considered that the silence might be an invitation? Sometimes, God allows the quiet so you'll seek Him, not just His answers. We can get so focused on asking for help, for signs, for deliverance, that we forget to simply seek His presence. The prophet Jeremiah wrote, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." What if this silence isn't a punishment, but a holy invitation? An invitation to go deeper in prayer, to surrender more completely, and to build a relationship that's not based on transactions, but on true intimacy. If God feels silent in your life right now, please don't assume He has left you. Don't let the quiet convince you that you're alone. The same God who parted the Red Sea is still holding your hand in the midst of your storm. The same God who resurrected hope from a cold tomb is still writing your story, even in this difficult chapter. And believe me, the silence you're enduring today will one day become the powerful testimony you share tomorrow. It will be the foundation for a stronger, more resilient faith. So keep praying, even when the words feel empty. Keep trusting, even when your heart is full of doubt. Keep believing, even when you can't see the evidence. Because even when God feels silent, He is still faithful. His love for you has not wavered, and you are not, and never will be, alone. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to Kingdom Echoes, where we explore how faith speaks, even in the silence. Thanks for watching.